We have to do this. And that's where parents usually need their own therapy because they're like, well, I want my kid to be assertive, but if I talk back to my parents, I would get hit. How do I get over that fear? So a lot of it is reparenting the parents while they're parenting their child and parenting their own inner child at the same time.
Wow. That's a lot.
It is. It's
As
multi.
you were
Yeah.
as you were talking, I was sitting here revisiting my childhood thinking, wow, they really screwed up.
And a lot of parents do sometimes intentionally and a lot do it without trying. This is not, I'm a parent. I'm not bashing parents. I'm holding accountable certain generations who unfortunately there was not enough data given to how to be an effective parent because the role of a child wasn't the what it is now. We didn't need to care about somebody's emotional life when we were getting blown up in war or having to escape famine. Like we had different priorities. It was literal survival. Thankfully, not every part of the world, but most parts of the developed world have transcended past that being a daily fear. Again, not all parts, but for the majority of our listeners, I would imagine if you're in America, that there's a level of ease now that you have where hopefully not on a daily basis, you're worried about is my house going to be there the next day? Is my family going to be there the next day? But those worries and those fears and that PTSD lives inside of us genetically. That's where epigenetics comes in and transgenerational trauma. What didn't heal at another level heals at the level that it's coming out on. And that's where we often see the problem child is really the one speaking up in the family and going, this is dysfunctional. Like this has to stop. And they're the ones using their voice, and everybody else, where the system is predicated upon act nice, shove it down, don't feel, don't talk, is looking at this person and going, what are you doing blowing up our spot? Like, don't expose the family secrets. Don't tell me what I'm doing is wrong. Just stay quiet so I don't have to face my discomfort, is
Right.
essentially what parents are hoping for. Not to expose all parents, but most parents end up telling me that as we work together. Like, I didn't want to face it. I didn't want to face the shame or the guilt that I feel because I never was taught how to regulate my emotions. And I scream at my kids. And as much as I promised myself I would never be like my dad, the first time that came out of my mouth, we have to go, oh, I'm just like him. If you don't learn what to do instead, you will be doomed, in quotes, to repeat what you were raised with. You have to come in and interrupt the pattern for it to be different moving forward.
Gotcha. Well, I know that from reading the multitude of messages on our Facebook support group, there are a lot of parents that are in conflict and crisis because of behaviors, actions, spoken, unspoken, trauma, kids winding up in jail, kids in addiction, just all a whole host of circumstances, right? That the parents are facing and they don't know what to do and they're frustrated and they're angry and they're hurt and they just want to fix the kids. And, there's a lot there to unpack. And one of the things I did early on in this podcast is I talked about marriage relationships. I was like, okay, we're talking about parenting, right?
Yep.
So what does a family need? And the first or second podcast episode, I talked about, hey, let's talk about the marriage relationship. Let's talk about moms. Let's talk about dads. Let's talk about what a healthy relationship looks like. Let's build that foundation from there. And so, it wasn't all encompassing, but I think I hit all the high spots, right? How do kids learn empathy and love and compassion
Yes.
and forgiveness and all of those things? They learn it from their parents. Their parents
Ideally.
hopefully are modeling those behaviors and those qualities within their relationship, moms and dads, right?
Yes.
And if they're not, then how do children learn? We as parents want to think that don't do as I say,
Do as I, yeah. But the,
don't do as I do as I say, right?